Hello! I decided to give you a little extra bonus video this week. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so today I'm going to tackle a couple of mending jobs. Well, actually I'm going to definitely tackle one mending job. I'm going to do Annie's dungarees. But first, before I do Annie's dungarees, I'm going to show you the interim thing that I've come up with for my ironing board cover. So I bought a small ironing board cover, just like an ordinary ironing board cover in the smallest size I could get, because obviously this ironing board is quite small. So I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to use my vintage ironing board clips and see if we can get a format that works, at least as an interim measure on this ironing board. So I'm going to get my ironing board out of its little cupboard, pull it down and see if this works. I turned the sound off because I really don't think you need to hear some of the struggle noises that I'm going to make. I mean, the ironing board bungee clip things were incredibly easy to use, but bending over is a struggle. So then we'll just pull the drawstring, and actually just off camera so you can't see it, once I've knotted this here, then there's two little drawing pins that somebody's very handily put in at some previous time that I've never taken out, and they're put in a way that you can wind the cords round them. I think that's possibly what they were put in there for. So I'll wind the cords round, and that keeps them nice and tidy and out the way. And then I'll obviously continue to put the things in by turning my back to the camera and giving you a good view of my back, because that's all you can see. Well, Laurel, they are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That has worked an absolute treat. So I've got a couple at the back, sort of behind the thing, and then as I bring it up, you can see I've got a few in the up here, and there was one that came with the ironing board cover. It's not anywhere near as good as the vintage ones. The vintage ones are absolutely brilliant, and that has worked a treat. And I think that might become just the what I do, rather than it being an interim thing. It's just fantastic. Thank you again, Laurel. That's fantastic. Right, so here are Annie's dungarees, and this is a fix that I've had to do more than once, because she catches the pocket on things, and while she was out and about she caught the pocket and she's popped a safety pin in it, and I'm going to need to do a bit of a fix. So what I'm going to do is, I have my draw of interfacing here, and I keep all my interfacing scraps for this very reason, because they come in really handy. So I'll find some interfacing scraps, and I'll the first thing I'll do is press some interfacing onto it. So let's get the bottom layer out the way so that we can see what we're doing. We'll put it over the end of the ironing board like that, so we can see exactly what we've got. So we've got this L-shaped tear and the pocket come off, so we want to put some interfacing behind this tear. So I could use a couple of strips like this, actually. There we go. Oh, sorry about that. I just knocked my microphone off. That'll have made a terrible sound. I do apologise. There we go. So I'll get a bit sort of L-shaped interfacing. Where's my scissors? So I need that like that. need it all, so I'll take some off. So, do you know what I've just done? You guys are going to laugh at me. I've just cut that the wrong way because it needs to go that way up underneath. Oh my goodness, my brain, honestly people, what is going on with my brain? So I'll put this bit in underneath like that. So we've got our bit of interfacing, we're going to put it underneath. Turn the iron on and put that underneath like that. Okay, so we'll do that bit first because that covers that first bit of the rip. And this just gives any mend that I do a little bit of extra strength behind it. So I should just press that bit of interfacing onto it. Okay, and then we're going to get another bit for there. For some reason this interfacing, or I don't know if it's the interfacing or Annie's jeans, but something smells of popcorn. I don't know what's going on. Right, so we'll just press that onto there. Okay, so now I've got the interfacing. Oh, that didn't press very well. Let's try again. Why are you not pressing very well, interfacing? What is going on? There we go, that's better. So we've got our bit of interfacing pressed on here, and then I'm going to take it over to the machine and I'm going to do a zigzag stitch, quite a dense zigzag stitch over all that to hold it in place. That interfacing really does not want to stick. What is your problem? The house got quite noisy all of a sudden, so we're switching to voiceover because everybody was talking and put the telly on and all that. So I've zigzagged the L-shaped bit, and now I'm going to sew the pocket back down. So I'm just going to pin the pocket carefully into place. And I don't really want to sew over that little fold back facing, so instead of pinning that down, what I'm actually going to do is undo the little bit of stitching that's there, push it back up out the way, and then I'll fold it back over once I've sewn the pocket into place, and that'll keep the look the same with all the other bits of the pockets and things. So once I've done that, I can fold that back down, and I'm going to do a little bit of hand stitching, just to literally just a couple of tacks, just to hold that little facing down, stop it flapping about and annoying Annie, because the less things that flap about and annoy her, the better, really. So yeah, I'll just get that tacked down. Now that we've done the main mend, which as you can see there is all nice and strong and should hopefully last a bit, I'm actually going to check over everywhere to make sure that there's no other small bits that are about to go or anything like that, because I might as well do it all while I'm at it. And I did find a little bit, one of the straps is beginning to pull out at the back, and that is a bit that gets a lot of tension put on it, so it's going to go soon. So I might as well just fix them, and I'll do them both just to make sure they're doubly strong. So I'm going to start by undoing the stitching between the dungarees and the facing of my... Do you know what? I shouldn't do voiceover when I'm tired, because words just desert me. They float off into the ether and yeah, gone. Anyway, what I'm doing is unpicking and taking the strap out completely. I had also slip stitched down the facing, so I'm unpicking the facing so that I can get in and do this mend from the inside to make it nice and neat. So then I'm going to push the straps back into those little holes, because I didn't undo the whole top seam, I just undid the little holes, and I'm going to pull them a bit further through rather than just the width of the seam allowance. I'm just going to give it a little bit extra because that'll hopefully make it so that they're less likely to pull out, because and there's the strap's plenty long enough to do that. I've got lots to play around with. It's not like that's going to make them too short or anything. So I'll just pop a couple of pins in there, and I'll do that on both sides, and then take that over to the machine, and we'll just stitch back along that seam allowance there, so that when we turn it back through, there we go, we're nice and strong again and nice and neat. What I'm also going to do is a little zigzag stitch just along the top there. In hindsight, I probably should have done this on the inside in the seam allowance, but I didn't think of that until much later, so it's on the outside. And there's a little patch there where there's a previous mend that we just decided to cover with something pretty. So that's that. And then the last thing to do is just slip stitch back down the lining, because it just keeps everything nice and neat. It also means I don't have to iron it very often. If I didn't slip stitch down the lining, then every time I washed it, the lining would curl up and I would have to iron it back down flat. Whereas by doing that, it means that I don't have to do that. So one little job now saves me many little jobs in the future. Because Annie doesn't care if they're ironed or not, but that would annoy me just looking at it. Anyway, that's that. Hello. Hey, dungarees all fixed.
This was broken, she fixed it.
Yeah.
Now it's good to know. This holds a small cat.
Small cat. It's a kitten pocket. We've got our patch on the back and our fixies all done.
All done.
And our swimming costume underneath because she's going to the beach in a little while. There we go. Looking cool.
There's a cat underneath there.
So there we go. Annie is delighted that I've fixed her dungarees. They're back in rotation as her favourite garment. And I hope that was a helpful little tutorial for you. Not that it was really a tutorial. I don't do tutorials. That sounds way too impressive for me. Obviously there was absolutely no point in even attempting to do an invisible mend because of where the rip was, so just making sure it was a nice strong mend was more important. So that's it. So wee sneaky extra video in the week. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're having a good week. I hope things are going well for you. I hope you're able to do all the things that you enjoy, or at least some of the things you enjoy.
Bank holiday weekend.
Oh yes, because it's a bank holiday weekend here in the UK. I mean, obviously I don't know if it is where you are, but it's a bank holiday weekend here in the UK, and we live in Cornwall, which means it's time to batten down the hatches because the place is full of tourists. But never mind. The weather's beautiful, so they'll have a lovely time. So, as usual, I want to know what's bringing you joy at the moment, and I will see you next time. Hope you and your loved ones are safe and well. Love from Liz.